Happy Monday. We're back. Took a little break again. Lots of moving parts. I went to San Francisco, did some work with the 49ers. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming. I have a life outside of Valley Vision, guys. I got to travel with Galvanize, an organization with Laura Oakman, a real one, and did some fine-tuning of the sports broadcast skills. Got to interview rookie Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver out of Florida, the 49ers first-round pick. He was pretty awesome. And we did a lot of self-reflection, inner work, you know, because we're people too. And to be a good reporter, you have to be a good person. Anyway, that's where I was. I was not in town, so we skipped last week, but we're back. And we're going to pick up right where we left off, LSU Baseball first. But before we do, St. Rock Vodka, if you're not drinking St. Rock Vodka, what are you doing? You should have caught on at this point. They are going national. I think I just caught them collabed up with Megan making money from Barstool. She's drinking St. Rock, so you're behind if you haven't already hopped on that wave. To let you know what St. Rock Vodka is, they are the official partner vodka with the Bayou Traditions Collective, the official NIL collective of LSU. So if you want to support the athletes, this is a great way to do it. Each bottle, part of the proceeds, go right back to the athletes. And you get to drink vodka. I say it every week. If you haven't tried the vodka already, you can swing by Cards and Culture in Perkins Row. We'll give you a little taste. Or you can trust me and go buy a bottle yourself. Shout out to St. Rock for supporting Valley Vision, for being an OG since day one. We plan on growing together. Okay, LSU Baseball. Season's over. Had a good run at the end. Didn't quite make it out of regionals. No super regional in Baton Rouge. Sad. Jay Johnson, sad for a second. Right back to it. Why? Because Jay Johnson is an assassin in the transfer portal. He is an assassin in the transfer portal. Okay? It opened June 4th. It closes July 2nd. So players have about a month to put their name in. We've seen some of our guys decide to part ways with LSU. I'll get there in a minute. But when I say that Jay Johnson is a transfer portal assassin, I mean, you look at his record, or not his record, but his rep sheet. Paul Skeens, Tommy White, Luke Coleman, Gage Jump, Michael Braswell. Those are 5 guys who made huge marks at LSU and were big pieces of both teams. So we got the evidence to back it up. Now what is he going to do? Because there's a lot to be done. This is why I say that. We just found out today, right? Brady Neal hit the transfer portal. Sam Dutton is headed to Auburn. Paxton Kling is saying goodbye to LSU. Cam Johnson, Javen Coleman, Aiden Moffitt, Micah Bucknam, Zeb Riddell, Nick Bronzini, and Derek Mitchell, all out. They're leaving. It was nice knowing y'all. Good luck. We move on. Jay Johnson has a job to do. We know the man doesn't sleep. He's going right in. Today, as of about 2 hours ago, we got news that Derek Curiel, he is a top 10 prospect coming out of high school. He is the number 117 overall per perfect game for the draft, has pulled his name from the draft, meaning he'll be in Baton Rouge. He's going to enroll early, and he'll be here next season. So that's a huge, huge win for LSU, because a lot of times we get these great prospects committed and then they decided to start their career early. Wah, sucks for us. Have to fill the hole. Not in this case. Just a little bit more on him, his draft profile, right here, word for word. I can't speak today. I don't know what's going on. Enunciate, right? That's my job. Anyway, word for word here. Curiel's bat-to-ball skills are excellent, and he rarely strikes out. While Curiel is now mostly an average runner, he does have outstanding instincts that will let him play center field for a long time. That, with his knack for finding the barrel, gives him a pretty decent floor as a big leaguer. And there are some who think he might go on to LSU and come out as a high-floor college hitter.
Do you think this all comes together now with the transfer portal stuff, or do you think this happens regardless? Because I think Jay Johnson talked about these exit meetings, and, you know, we talked to the guys. We have a few that are on the fence, blah, blah, blah. Because the way I look at it is, if Brady Neal goes in, now you had 4 catchers, really 5 on the roster, One of them is Jared Jones, who's your everyday first baseman. One
Right.
of them is Ethan Fry, who's your right fielder now. And then two of them are gone in Travinsky and Malazzo. So all you had left was Brady Neal.
And he's out.
He's gone. So now you have, I think, Blaze Priester is a catcher. Hernandez, the transfer they just brought in, is
You're
a catcher.
getting ahead of me, Adam. I have a
Well,
whole
but here's my
list
thing
here.
is
Go
that
ahead.
you're going to have to move guys around now that you
Yeah.
don't have Neal. So maybe Josh Pearson comes back to second base. He started opening day at second
Right.
base today. So now you need an outfielder. This kid pulls his name out the draft.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, I do think it's moving pieces. Essentially, it's a business, especially now more than ever that NIL is what it is. It is a business. What is the best option for his personal career? That's what he's thinking, rightfully so. Is he going to forego college ball and go make money? Like the profile said, be a low floor kind of thing, start his career early? Or does he see that the pieces are moving around, that a lot of things are going to be different next season because you're losing so many guys? You've got a lot of position players that might be playing different positions than what we saw this year. And now there's the outfield that is going to need help. Hey, I'm in on LSU. One, LSU is LSU. And if you're paying any attention as a high school athlete looking to play college ball, you are trying to get your foot in the door at LSU. They're making money. They're winning championships. They've got huge named coaches across the board. Why would you not go play at LSU? The options here, yes, you can go start your professional ball career, but I think you get more out of it financially and skill-wise by coming here. And it just so happens that, things moved around to where, hey, Derek, you'd fit perfect right here, and you can make some money. Yes, to answer your question, I do believe that. You kind of just hinted at where I was going next. So again, he's not a transfer, just a top 10 prospect, basically making his way to Baton Rouge. But we did get some transfers in. And like I said, I'm going to say it again. Jay Johnson is a transfer portal assassin. Luis Hernandez out of Indiana State. You just talked about him. He's a first baseman. He's got a hot bat. He had one of the best bats in the country. Last season, he ranked number 17 in the nation in RBI with 76. He was number 22 in home runs with 23, and he ranked 129th in batting average with a 359. Now, granted, it's not the SEC, but the skill is there. Jay Johnson is surely going to be able to figure out how to use him. How do we use him? One, having a bat like that come in when you're losing Tommy White, it's a good little asset to add. Two, if Jared Jones stays, there's versatility there. But if he doesn't, then you've got your first baseman, because Hernandez has also played catcher. So you just brought up the point that the catcher position, right? Jared stays, maybe Jared goes behind the plate, or maybe Hernandez ends up behind the plate. Or Jared goes, you've got Hernandez at the first base, and you figure out the catching situation. He's pulling in the right guys. Jay Johnson knows what he's doing. This was a big get for LSU.
I think the thing that stings the most, though, about Neal is that the scenario you just mentioned of if Jared stays, you got your first baseman. If he doesn't, you have that figured out, but now you still don't have a third baseman.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are saying, oh, well, maybe Luis Hernandez tries at third base.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I think Braswell slides over, Milam slides over, Pearson comes in. But I think this Brady Neal move is kind of the biggest of them all, just because it changes everything about the infield.
Completely, yeah. And that came today as a surprise, I think, to a lot of people. I didn't see it coming because of what you just said. But two, Jay has talked about how there are a lot of versatile athletes on the roster already and coming in. And it's going to be trial and error and finding the pieces that fit correctly. And it's a good problem to have when you've got multiple players that can play multiple positions. Now it's just a matter of finding the combination that results in wins. Nowhere near done with what we need. There's still a lot of holes, but we have, it's June 17th? So the portal opened 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago. So we've got about 2 weeks left. Best believe Jay is going to keep going. The other big question mark, the pitching staff. We struggled this year, especially in the reliever area. You found your 1A, 1B in Gage Jump and Luke Holman. That didn't even get set in stone until the season had already gotten a bit deep. Remember, Holman started as the Friday night guy, and then you switched it up, bumped him to Saturday, put Gage on Friday, and it started to work. You saw a lot of success that way, but still a lot of question marks there, and you didn't have, aside from Griffin Herring, really a reliable reliever. So that's going to be something that gets addressed. Jay has already started to bring in some pitchers. Zach Cowan off of Wofford. It's so funny to me how some of the guys that played against LSU in big games, like they played in the regional, end up in an LSU uniform.
Oh, you know Jay was watching that game.
Oh, for sure, dude. And you know damn well some of those players were like, damn, if he calls me, I'm gone. If he calls me, I'm gone. Yeah, Zach said exactly that. So this is a big move with Holman and Jump probably going to the draft, more than likely, 95%, right? Actually, do you think Jump is going?
I think so.
Okay. I don't know why.
A lefty who throws like that.
Yeah.
He's already had Tommy John.
Yeah. Might as well. So you got to restock the pitching staff. Here we go. He brings in Cowan from Wofford staff. He was a big part of their success, them making the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2007. He was kind of their go-to guy. He had an ERA of 3.35, 10.2 strikeouts per game per 9 innings. And that actually ranked 104th in the country. So kind of a little bit of a hidden gem. Would Jay have found him if LSU didn't play Wofford? I don't know. But it doesn't matter.
Jay finds these guys everywhere,
right.
But I think it certainly helps when you're in the same stadium as him, watching him in person.
Yeah.
For sure.
I kind of just contradicted what I said about Jay being a transfer portal assassin, asking if he would have found him. Yes, he would have found him. But there's a reason he's bringing him in. He got a front row seat to his performance and said, hey, I want you on my staff. He's got a high strikeout percentage, and he can handle a lot. The workload that he endured on his staff this past year, he a lot of times was throwing over 100 pitches. With the injuries and the current state of the LSU pitching staff, you want a guy like that, somebody that can come in and handle the workload and go a couple innings without. Because too many times this season, we saw guys go for an inning and get out, or not even an inning and get out. And that's not necessarily to say they can't handle the workload. But when you have a guy that's throwing over 100 pitches pretty, I don't want to say often, but he can do it consistently. Come on, bud. That's the first edition. Chandler Dorsey out of South Florida. Again, like I said, relievers were an issue for LSU. You had Griffin Herring. People were calling for Herring to be the Sunday starter, and we talked about it so many times that Herring was better coming out of the bullpen. Does that stay that way next season? It's going to depend on the pieces that Jay is able to add. Could Griffin be a starter? Potentially. Will he do as well? We don't know. But for argument's sake, say Herring either, one, goes to the draft because he is eligible, or two, becomes a starter. You need a reliever that you know when he comes out, he's going to get to work and he's going to get it done. From what I've read, Dorsey seems to be a guy that fits that role.
He's the one I'm most excited about.
Really?
Out of the transfers.
Why?
He's fastball mid-90s, gets up to 98, sharp curveball in the low 80s. So, I mean, if you got a guy who can come out the pen and pump 99.
Damn straight.
You know.
You're in good graces. Right. It's a good position to be in. He had a 3.6 ERA, 40 strikeouts over 30 innings. In 18 of his 26 appearances, he did not allow a single run. So, good addition. I understand why you're extremely excited for that one. Dorsey, probably going to be a big reliever for LSU baseball next season. You got Luke Hayden, also coming out of Indiana State. He was their number 2 starter. He had a 3.81 ERA and actually 2.48 batting average against. He's second in the Missouri Valley Conference with 91 strikeouts and was named second team All-MVC at the end of the year. He is also eligible for the draft, will likely be picked. He was invited to the Combine. Perfect Game has him ranked as the 248th prospect in the draft, so he'll definitely have a decision to make. But again, if you're a pitcher and you're getting a call from LSU, Jay Johnson, regardless of what happened this season. You know they won a natty 2 years ago. 2 years. Last year, I guess, whatever, last year. And you're seeing the way, not just in baseball specifically, but the way that LSU is leading NIL and the titles just being racked up. You're probably a little excited to stay in college, maybe one more year just to go play for a school like that. I could be wrong.
I could see it the other way, honestly. You even not necessarily transfers, but you look at a guy like Cam Johnson, who he shows up at LSU and it doesn't work out, and you can't afford to not find the zone in college. Like, you have to win. Justin Lohr we thought was going to be a bigger part of, the pitching staff this year. So I get it of, like, LSU, big school, great opportunity, go compete for a championship. But if I'm the, number 250 prospect this year, they're going to let me play in rookie ball. They're going to let me play in A-ball. If I come here and it just doesn't work out early in the year, maybe I'm the number 500 prospect coming out.
You can drop. Your stock can drop. It can raise. And that's the gamble that these guys have, right? That's the whole, do you forego college ball? Do you leave for the draft early? Do you stay? Do you transfer? It is a tough decision. And I would say it's even tougher to make now with the way that college sports are going. So coin flip to see if he ends up in Baton Rouge or if he's going to do exactly what you said, go get his reps, take what he can get now, take the money and go. But it would be nice to have a little bit extra depth. And speaking of depth, Devin Sheeran, another pitcher added by Jay Johnson. He had 109 strikeouts across 70 innings at Mount St. Mary's. Good Lord, if I could speak today, that would be so wonderful. He was named to the All-Mid-American Athletic Conference first team. And he was named the Conference Freshman of the Year. So some good little awards there for Devin. He has at least 2 years with LSU, which is a good thing. You want a guy who's going to be around for a second, because we keep getting these guys that come in and then we have to say goodbye so quickly. Look at Skeen. God, if we could have kept Skeens for a little bit longer, that would have been wonderful. But so it's a good position to bring a guy in who can't go to the draft yet. He's got to be here. He's committed here. So developing him, kind of shaping him into the pitcher you need. Hopefully he comes through and can patch up the pitching staff a little bit. I think that's the big names that Jay has pulled in. Now, Carl, I saw your comment in here. Because LSU is out of the College World Series, Johnson's got some more time to fill the roster. Best believe, I think by when the portal closes, we're going to be pretty happy with where we're at. He's off to a good start, I'd say. Speaking of college baseball coaches, old news maybe a little bit, but I couldn't not talk about it. Paul Mainieri to South Carolina.
Crazy.
Paul Mainieri to South Carolina. You know what's crazy? No. You know what's crazy? We've had that man on our show. He is like this with Anthony Renato, like second dad to Anthony Renato. Neither of us knew.
That's what caught me off guard, is that interacting with him throughout this past season, I knew, like, when he retired, maybe he would get the itch again. Then he didn't take the Miami job, and then I got to interact with him so much. It's like, no, he's fine in Baton Rouge. He loves it here. He's enjoying himself. He's out on the golf course. And then it went from targeting, like maybe giving him a call, to full on, like he's the head coach in 30 minutes.
Hindsight 2020, to counter your point, we were talking after we saw the news break, and we were like, what, coach? What are you, what? When? Thinking back on it, just conversations that we've had with him on Beyond the Box and off air, he missed it so much. And just being a coach, like, it doesn't surprise me that he got back into it. Was I surprised? Yeah, because blindsided, but it doesn't surprise me that he did it, you know? Also, him taking a job in the SEC, like, he's another SEC team's head coach. Like, I can't remove him from LSU, but I have to now because we'll be playing against him. And I'm very happy for him. He is going to be so happy. I know he missed coaching, and I hope he does incredibly, not good enough to beat LSU, but I hope he does incredibly well. I'm a little salty, and I shouldn't be, but like. Man.
I want to ask you this, though. As someone who has talked with him a lot over the last year, how do you think this new era is going to work for him? Because, I mean, like, take Anthony, for example. Now he's got the beard, the sleeves down both arms. Like, if you show up and tell Tommy White, like, hey, cut the hair, cover the tattoos, he can just say, all right, I'm going to go transfer somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I love Coach. Let me get that out there. He is a great person. He is so kind. But I do question, because whenever he was leaving LSU, he did talk about how the game is changing and, you know, it might not be his place anymore to be involved in the game. That was a conversation that was had factually. Like, on the record, he said the game is changing, okay? Your question is so valid of how he adjusts. Now, did he take his time off to get acclimated to how college baseball has changed? And has he, you know, adjusted? And is he going to be able to coach in this new era? I'm sure he wouldn't take a job if he didn't think so. And he's a smart man. He knows what the transfer portal is doing. He knows that these athletes do have more leverage than they've had in the past. And I don't believe he won't tailor to that. I think he'll be a little bit, because remember, before he left, he eased up. It wasn't, you didn't have to be clean shaven anymore, and the guys were growing their hair out and all that kind of stuff. And he eased up. He was trying to, you know, evolve with the times. I think the time off, I can't speak for him. This is just from an outside. I've not spoken to him about this, but from an outside perspective of somebody who has spoken to him, I think he's had enough time away from the game to know that he doesn't want to be anywhere else, and he'll evolve how he needs to evolve to be able to be a head coach back in the SEC. He loves it. He just did a press conference, I think yesterday, maybe today, talking about, you know, the influences he has on players and individuals. And I mean, shit, you watched any Beyond the Box with him on it. You saw firsthand the relationship that he has with Anthony from how many years ago? 13?
15,
I don't know.
13.
So when did they won the, whatever. From a long time ago.
15 years ago.
Okay, there you go. So he connects with these players. He wants the best for them. It's a lot more than just coaching for him on the field. It's being a role model off the field and forming those connections. So I think he realized how much that meant to him and how much he loved doing that. And he's like, you know what, if I can do this, like, I'm going to evolve with the times, and I'll be a head SEC baseball coach in 2025. Like, I'll do what I got to do, but I want to be back in this space. So all that to say, shock, but congrats to Coach Paul Maneri. His return. I am very excited to see how that plays out for him. I know he's got a good coaching staff over there. South Carolina's got a pretty good little team as well. So we'll see how that plays out.
Took Anthony's guy, Terry Rooney, with him.
Dude.
Anthony's lonely, huh?
Ooh. Yeah, we had Terry on the show too. And he pulled up in the golf cart straight from the field, decked out in purple and gold. Now he's going to be wearing South Carolina colors. But it's a business at the end of the day. You know, you can be friends, but you got to make money somewhere. Speaking of making money and coaching, Les Miles is suing LSU, okay? Remember the whole recruitment violation, all the BS, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, there's so many recruitment violations that LSU has been a part of. Fact. Sorry if your feelings are hurt, but it is what it is. LSU vacated 37 wins from Les Miles for recruitment violations. He is now suing LSU for doing that because he is no longer eligible to be inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame. Why? Well, because his record went from 145-73, meaning he had a winning percentage of 665, okay, to 108-73, dropping his winning percentage to 597. Why is that a big deal? Well, because to be inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame as a coach, you have to have a winning percentage of at least 600 in 100 games. He is now .003 under that. There's a big ol' back and forth of who's right in this situation. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what side I fall on. I don't. LSU has also not commented. They can't because of the pending litigation. So we don't know where LSU stands in this other than they're being sued. On one end, you look at this as like a slap in the face. He was here for so long. He won so many games. He was a pivotal part of LSU football history. Why would you do that? Like, why would you vacate the wins? That whole thing. And then on the other side, you look at it as, rules are rules. Sucks to suck. If you don't meet the criteria, you don't get inducted. It doesn't matter who you are, especially with the more recent issues that happened at Kansas when he took the job at Kansas and the whole allegations of inappropriate behavior with female students. There's a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, at least. So I am not taking a side in this one. I am curious to hear what you have to say.
So option 3, which is kind of where I fall.
There's a third option.
Regardless of this lawsuit, is he a Hall of Fame coach?
Ooh, I like that one.
Because the thing is, yes, he won a lot of games. And I don't want to take anything away from the guy. Like, this isn't like a hate Les Miles thing. I mean, look, I'm not defending the guy. But here's what I'll say. He won a lot of games. That core that won the 2019 championship, I get it. He brought in some of those pieces. But he won one national championship. A lot of coaches have won one national championship. He lost to Alabama pretty much every year in the 2010s, right? I think they won 8 straight before 2019. A couple of those are Coach O, I get it. But is a one national championship at one of the most prestigious universities in all of college football history worth getting into the College Football Hall of Fame? Because he didn't succeed after LSU when he went to Kansas. It was just drama, losing seasons. So, is he a Hall of Fame coach, regardless of the winning percentage?
I fall in option 3. That's where I agree with you 100%. Had they not vacated the wins, I don't know that Les Miles should be inducted. And I know the LSU fan base is split on him. You either love him or you hate him. I did not grow up in a household that was a huge fan of Les Miles. I'll be very honest. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. But I 100%, I'm right there. Option 3. Regardless of the wins, should he even be inducted?
I don't think so.
He said it, not me. He said it. Adam said it. Adam said it. It wasn't me.
You can attack me. I just don't think he has the resume. I think you win another national championship, for sure. One national championship, I don't know. A lot of people have done that.
There you go. The resume, especially with now, the standard, I feel like, is higher. And you can't just induct people with names into the Hall of Fame. Like, back it up. Back it up. Show me your resume. Show me your records. And if you change schools, let me see it translate. Granted, sometimes you have a different roster and whatever, but let me prove it. Earn it. Earn it. For you Les Miles fans out there, I hear your argument. It's valid. I just don't agree with it. Option 3. Should he even be? Should it be a discussion? I'll leave it there. But yeah, that's what's going on. And then I feel like this is a perfect segue into Tiger Tea. And it's ironic that the last Tiger Tea we did was also about this individual. But we're back. And I have a lot to say again. Angel Reese is back in the headlines for almost the same thing. Different, because now she's actually involved, and it was 1v1, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. But holy shit, excuse my French, let it go, okay? For those of you who missed it, and maybe you live under a rock or just you're doing a social media cleanse, Caitlin and Angel played last night. The Fever in the Sky played. Was it last night?
It was
2 nights
two
ago?
nights ago.
I don't know what day it is. It's Monday?
It's
okay.
Monday.
I don't know what day it is because the media does not let it go. Anyway, Caitlin goes up for a shot. Angel goes to block it. She misses the block. Her teammate gets the block, but when she goes to swipe the ball, she hits Caitlin in the head. Caitlin goes to the ground, okay? You already know the media's got this clip, and they put it out immediately, okay? They ran with it. It's a flagrant foul. They go to the presser after, and a reporter's asking Angel about it. as a reporter should, okay, in a press conference, ask about it in the moment and then let it go, which we can't seem to grasp. And Angel cuts him off and says, it's basketball. It was a basketball play. Clearly frustrated that she is still having to defend her physicality in the game. And it wasn't helping that it was against Caitlin Clark. Had it been another player, it still would have been asked because, again, they have freaking binoculars. That wasn't the word I was looking for. A magnifying glass on the rookies this year. But because it was Caitlin Clark, now it's blowing up. She said it's basketball. This is a physical game. It wasn't malicious. It happens, okay? And very clearly in the clip of her going up, she was going after the ball. She was going after the ball. She came down. She hit Caitlin. It happens. Caitlin, okay, also gets asked about it. Caitlin backs her up, and I'm going to read this quote, what she said, word for word. I think it's just the emotion and passion we play with. I think people love to see that, and I think that's maybe not something that was always appreciated in women's sports, and it should be. That's what makes it fun. We're competitors. That's the way the game should be. It's going to get feisty. It's going to get physical, but at the end of the day, both of us are trying to win. How much more clear can you be? How much more clear can you be? And this is what I said 2 weeks ago. It is a physical game, okay? It's never overanalyzed the way it is in men's sports as the way, I'll be completely honest with you, it's getting weird. The way that the WNBA season and the narratives that are being played over and over, I mean, it's on CNN. It's on CNN. What are we doing? Why are we trying to take sports, women's sports, and make it so, like we have an agenda set and we have to twist it and make it more meaningful or there's a hidden message and shut up, dude. I almost cursed. I didn't curse. It's freaking basketball. Let them play. They're two of the greatest college players or greatest players to come out of college women's basketball. They are making moves in the WNBA right now. Angel Reese is the only rookie to average a double-double. Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark. Why can't we just look at their skill and what they're doing for the game? Why do we have to overanalyze and hyper-focus on every single thing that happens and every encounter that the two have, not just between them, but between other people, and make it some storyline? Both of them are shutting it down. Caitlin spoke on Angel's character and how she uses her platform. She backed her up. There was nothing ill that she said at all. Now, this is what she said to the press. We don't know how they actually feel. It's not our business. It's not my business to know if Caitlin Clark meant what she said about Angel Reese. Angel even said, like, yeah, it was a flagrant foul. I can't control the refs. It is what it is. It wasn't on purpose. I didn't do it to hurt her. Like, it's part of basketball. I was trying to do my job. That's it. Let it go, dude. It's getting weird. Like, and it's actually aggravating. Somebody asked me the other day about it. I was in New Orleans, and somebody was trying to have a conversation, and sorry, I was a little curt, but I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't want to talk about this anymore. And I know that's my job in sports. I have to talk about the relevant stuff, but like, I'm sick of it. It's like, y'all are dragging out this storyline and it's too much. Appreciate the basketball. Appreciate the girls that are busting their ass and changing the game. Talk about it after the game. Yeah, it was a highlight. Then let it go. It's weird. Also, to back up my point from 2 shows ago, or the last show, when I was saying that they're rookies and there's like a rookie treatment, that was confirmed by a WNBA player we had in studio. Anthony rolled a podcast for the Up and In show with Teresa Plaisance. She won a championship with the Aces. She's now in Seattle. She's awesome. She's from the West Bank, where I grew up. Shout out Nola. And she came in. It's going to be a great episode. It was so long, in a good way. It'll release on Friday, so if you want to check out who she is, what she had to say, check that out on Friday. But to my point, what she said to back this up, we asked her, like, what's up with the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese stuff? And she straight up said, that is rookie treatment. Like, it might be heightened by the media, but She was like, I was a third rounder and I got shoved and pushed and welcome to the league, bitch. Like somebody, excuse me, but those were her words. Somebody told her that. She was a third rounder. And she was like, you're like earning your place. Like it's the same way the NFL, like you got to earn your spot. Prove why you're there. Like prove that you're an asset and then come talk to me. So like rookie treatment on top of, there is a natural, let me back up. Caitlin Clark is making a lot of money. If you look at the WNBA salaries, it's not nearly as much as what Caitlin is making. It's not. And it's actually really sad if you go look at the numbers. It's gotten better, but it's nowhere near where it should be. Also, before y'all start this argument, because I got in this argument with my brother, they should not, the NBA makes a lot more money than the WNBA. I'm not saying they should be paid the exact same as the NBA. Just disclaimer. But they're not being paid what you would think they're being paid if you look into it. Caitlin Clark is making a lot of money off of deals. That started in NIL. She's got all kinds of deals right now. So there's a little edge, right? That when you're playing against somebody that's making a shit ton of money and getting all kinds of media attention, there might be a little extra like physicality, not in a way that is mean, not in a way that would hurt, but like, let me put this rookie in her place real quick. It's sports, y'all. It is literally part of it. Let me stop because I really could go on for a long time. And that happened, this almost exact conversation happened 2 weeks ago. Adam, do you have any thoughts?
I think you hit everything, honestly. Shout out my boy David. He hosts podcasts that I do separately. And we talked about this last week, and you kind of hit it. But people love, like, if you go on YouTube and search Welcome to the NFL, there's, like, whole 20-minute videos of people getting run over, people getting shoved, people getting in fights. People get bullied when you're a rookie. Like, it's part of sports. And the other thing that he did mention, that there was one part of Angel Reese's press conference where she said, like, some people get a special whistle or whatever. And, like, I'm not saying that I agree with her saying that. I do agree that some people get a special whistle, but also, like, hit her in the face. You know, like, it is a foul, and she admitted that. But that's the one thing that, like, same thing as a couple weeks ago. That's the one thing that gets posted. That's, like, if it's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, it's going to get traction. Why is it so hard to just take a full video in context and just put it out there?
Because it doesn't keep the traction going as long. If you don't start an argument, here's a pro tip for y'all. If you've ever wondered how media works, if you don't start an argument in the comments, you're not going to get as much engagement. So they are trying to pit people against, you know this. We know this. We've done it in a less mean way, like, tell us your thoughts, and people argue on their own, but, like, yes, they're going to take a video out of context to get more eyes on it. As viewers, as sports fans, I encourage you to do your own homework before you form an opinion. Don't take one article, one quote, one clip, and go on a rant about why you're right. Do your research. That goes for anything, but right now, specific to what we're talking about, do your research. There's a lot of context that doesn't get pushed out because it wouldn't get the same engagement. It needs to die. It needs to be let go. Talk about it after the game. Maybe talk about it the next morning on your sports show, and then let it go. There is no reason this should be on CNN. That's it. On a very serious note, it's ridiculous and it's weird. Anyway, that's where I stand. What's coming up? I don't know yet. We're going to figure out this week, and then we're going to let y'all know what we got going on. But I did say there's a really cool episode with Teresa Plaisance coming out with Anthony Renato on the Up and In Show. That'll release on Friday. We're working on some other content here at Valley Vision with some athletes that are in town. It is summertime, so it's a little difficult to get everybody in the same place. But don't y'all worry, the graphics will keep going, the TikToks will keep going. We'll still do live shows. Maybe we'll bump it up and do some more live shows. But we appreciate y'all. I couldn't read the comments today. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. So Carl, Corinna, those are the only comments I can see right now. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Y'all are some of the OGs, always here on Mondays and for our post-game recaps. But appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all soon.